What's good, y'all? It's SPG Gonzo. We back for Hands Fade Barbershop. We're gonna be doing a mid fade tutorial. We're gonna go from that to this. Alright, so real simple. We're gonna start off with our ball line. I'm using the FX1 Gold Effects trimmers, and these are my soft trimmers. If you're new, I recommend going in with your clippers and putting in your ball line like that, because it'll be a lot easier for you to take out. If you notice, I'm using the back end of the blade, not coming in like a lineup to put this line in. When you do that, it tends to leave a really harsh line, and it's a little bit harder to blend out. All right, once we get that ball line going, we're gonna put our second guideline in. This time we're gonna be using the 2-guard, lever open, and this is gonna let us know how high we can take our fade. It's also gonna let us know where we're gonna start blending into our bolt, and then it's also gonna give us a clean canvas for everything we fade underneath it. All right, so you want to make sure that you go take a couple passes, go through this, get it up to the height you want it to be at, and then also make sure that all the hairs underneath are even cut. Again, it's the 2-guard with the lever open. Alright, so we're coming in underneath that with the 1-guard lever open, going up about halfway to 3/4 of the way, just knocking out more of the hair underneath. And in this tutorial, we're pretty much gonna be fading down, right? So it's only really gonna be 2 guidelines for the most part, even though you could say that this is a 3rd one right here, but pretty much gonna be fading down most of the time. Once you get this line where we want it to be, we're gonna go ahead and switch it up, and we're gonna throw in our 1.5. Gonna blend just above that, right into that 2. Just want to be careful that we don't go above that 2. We don't want to push that bulk up anymore with our 1.5. That's our height limit. So as you can see, we started with the 1.5 open, and now it's just about close here. And it's having us blend right into that 1 open that we put in. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to take this 1/2 guard. We're going to open the lever all the way, and we're going to come over about halfway, just under that 1 guard open. And same steps, we come in with the 1/2 guard open, and eventually we'll drop it down to halfway open and then fully closed. And the benefit of doing it this way, instead of just coming in with no guard lever open, when you blend in with the 1/2 guard going down, that no guard lever open is going to blend into it a lot easier. So once we get to that step, you'll see how easy and seamless the no guard lever open blends right into this 1/2 guard close. So now you can see we close up the lever, and now we hitting the bottom of that fade, just above our ball line here. Coming up roughly about halfway, maybe like 1/4 of the way. You could even turn that 1/2 guard on the side and kind of detail into the 1 a little bit. You don't want to go OD with your detailing when you're first starting off though. Really just want to leave that for a whole separate step. You know, as you make little lines in the fade, it is okay to just knock them out real quick. Save most of your detailing for later, because if you try to do that while you're putting in your initial fade, it's going to slow you up. So now we're blending up, right? So we going with our clipper closed. Bump up that ball line a little bit, open it up a notch, go just above that. If you notice, I'm taking short, slow strokes, balls. Yeah, then we just open up the lever, and you just continue to bump the fade up a little bit. Now we're about 3/4 of the way open, still continuing to go up. A lot of corners here, right? And you can see it's pretty much already blended in. And it looks like that because we already blended in with the 1/2 guard. If we just did or one open, and then we did no guard open, you'd see a harsh line in the middle. And now you got to worry about taking that out. But we essentially never even put that line in because we blended down. Now we switch it up a little bit. We go in front of the ear, and now I don't bump up. I don't go clipper lever close. Now we come in clipper lever open. Just showing y'all that you can do it this way too. So now we go open, we close it a notch, and now we're gonna blend down just like how we were doing with the half guard. So you can do it. You can do these things multiple ways, man. But what I recommend when you first start out, get yourself a system. There's plenty of them out there. Master that system, right? Learn how to cut fast with that system. And once you do that, you can move on to something else. And if you ever feel like a system isn't working for you, you can always switch it up. But I highly recommend coming up with something that works for you and mastering it before you start experimenting and doing other things, because that stuff will come, but it's going to take you a whole lot longer to learn if you're practicing multiple systems at once when you're first starting. So just find something, get it down packed, rock out with it, master it. Once you do that, you can start switching things up, man. And stay away from the detailing as much as possible. Like, you can do the little stuff, but you don't want to get caught up in the web of detailing as you're fading, man. Trust me, it's not quicker. It's not quicker. Sometimes your eyes play tricks on you to last forever. All right, we did create a little line with our guard open towards the front of his head. So we're coming in with the half guard, and we're just gonna knock this out really quick. All right, not spending a lot of time on this. We're just getting it down to a respectable point, and then we'll come in later and detail it. All right. Shout out to everybody that been rocking with the channel, all my subs, man. I appreciate y'all. We about like 55 now, or 57 or something like that, and we well on our way to 100. I appreciate everyone who's been commenting and giving me their input on what I should do on the videos. And shout out to the homie in the comments. I forgot your name. I think it was D. He was telling me that he wants me to get the levels of the lever on there too. So at some point I'll do that. I didn't do it for this video. Honestly, I just got kind of lazy. All right, so now we're taking the one guard open and we're blending into the bulk. All right, so we're blending into that too. And you might be asking, like, well, why you use the 1.5? I like blending into the bulk with the one open. I feel like when you use it, like the corners, it's pretty much like a 1.5, 2 anyway. And you could really start hitting them those hot spots that got like a lot of hair. And you can also use the one to like kind of scope the hair too. So it's a really good tool, man. Once you start learning how to use the one guard on corners, in certain areas of the hair is really helpful. So we come right in with our 3 guard now, and we're gonna start to debulk. All right, so it's real simple. We just start open to close, and we're just going above, knocking out some of the hair, making sure we don't go up too high, and make sure we don't curve too much with the head. All right, we kind of want it squared off at the top a little bit. You don't want to make sure that we make it overly round unless that's something that your client is looking for. Sorry for the shitty camera work here. It's the first time I use this angle, so bear with me. Hopefully the next one's a little more solid. All right, and we coming back in here with the lineup. And it's crazy, man. The lineup lineup does like an amazing thing to the fade. Like sometimes when you put the lineup in, like your fade will look like crap before. When you put the lineup in, you're like, all right, we almost there. We just about done. So don't ever be afraid to put the lineup in, sometimes even before you're fading, because it works as a good guide and it helps give you like the overall picture, all right? And again, these are my soft trimmers. Look how they hitting. These Jones are fire.
They just hit perfect. Like, they smooth on the skin. Like, I cut kids with, I cut Brandon with this. No, it's good. I cut Peanut. Yeah, I don't feel like anything. Like, this shit's perfect, bro. I love some like sharp ass liners for like the lineup.
All right, so now we're gonna come to the back. I'm gonna start debulking and taking out all this excess hair that we left. All right, I kind of skipped the next step in the video. I don't know if my video stopped or what, but I missed the whole shaver part. Basically, we're taking the trimmer all the way up to where the bulk of that hair ended. We're leaving a faint line there, and then we're gonna come up with our shaver. And now we know we just left a little light guideline, and we're gonna bring our shaver up to there. So this skipped past the whole shaver part. As you can see, is balded out under, and now we going back in with our trimmer and knocking out the rest of those excess hairs there and just kind of cleaning up. And then we're also tapping the bottom of our bald line too, cleaning up all the little hairs that were left behind that the clipper couldn't necessarily get. All right, if you want to learn how to do this part right here that I'm doing, I 100% recommend checking out those Faded Culture boys, because they do this part really well. It was always hard for me to go from the shaver to the trimmer to the bald line, and they're the ones who kind of, their videos I kind of understood better than other people's for some reason. I think they did it the best. So yeah, check them out if you're having trouble going from the shaver to the trimmer. Now we're gonna kind of blend out the beard a little bit. So we just start in no guard, open. This blend on here ain't really crazy. We just kind of just, you know, this will be the central, this will probably be the equivalent to like a low taper, but for the beard. So we're barely touching it, just the very edge of the beard. Want that to blend in a little bit. All right, then we follow that up with a 1 guard, lever open, and then we just close it up as we need to. We just give them a real small blend, real small fade into it. All right, nothing too crazy. We're coming in with our low pros, and I got a Gold Effects 2.0 blade on there. If you like babyless blades, all 2.0 means is that it's a deep tooth blade, and I find that these work a little bit better for me lining up, because the low pros are a little bit skinnier, they're a little bit slimmer than the skeleton trimmer. So I just feel like, especially for lining up the hairline, these work out a little bit better for me. And my client has longer hair, so the deep tooth definitely helps. Those are a little more zero gap than my soft trimmers. So for the lip line, I'm just gonna brush down some of his hair. Sorry for the shitty camera work. And then I go to my soft trimmer again to get him a nice little lip line and knock out the hairs on the mustache. As you can see, the edge of his mustache, we leave that a little bit bulky. He likes those hairs a little bit longer, so it looks like it's kind of blending into the beard. Next time he comes, we're probably gonna have to kill some of the length off of that though, because it's getting to the point where it's gonna be too long. You want to communicate this with your clients, right? Like he asked to leave it that long. So some people like to knock that out, some people don't. Everybody's different, so make sure you're talking to your client. I guarantee they all get their cuts done differently. And this is pretty much it for the cut right here, right? So you can see at some point in there I detailed a little more, and I blended out that bulk a little more. I got it to a place where I thought it was respectable. And now we're coming in with our blade. This is the Turkish blade by Faded Culture, and this one's dope because you can take your double-edged razors, break off the edges. I'll show you how to do that sometime, and then slide the blade right in. And honestly, you can expose it a little bit more than your standard like slide straight razors or the little butterfly ones. And for me, this works perfect, man. So if you can see what I did there, I did the side first, then I went to the bottom part, the side where the C cups are, then I went to the bottom part where it connects to the mustache. So I made a line on each. Now all I gotta do is connect them together. If you peep, I'm stretching out the skin as I'm connecting it, right? So we want that line rounded. The more you stretch that skin out, the more round your line is going to become. All right, see I stretch it out, it looks straight, but then when I hit it and I'll let it go, now it's rounded. So if you need to see what I did there, just rewind it, put that joint on 0.5, and you'll be able to see what I did. When you pull the skin, it makes that curved line straight. When you let it go, it snaps right back to being curved. All right, so I usually hit that twice, so I'm brushing it off, and now I just come back and I clean it up, and I kind of refine that line. What I would recommend for you, when you do one side of the face, you want to do the same thing to the other. So whenever you start on the other side of the beard, just look at the mustache. You want to make sure that those two guidelines line up. They line up right, your beard's gonna be fine. Even if you curve one side more than the other, you can adjust that. But if you got one a little higher, one a little lower, that's a little bit harder to fix. All right, Now we just going in, cleaning up, getting the little neck hairs. Yeah, I mean, we Puerto Rican, we hairy. Coming around, cleaning up the eyebrows a little bit. Simple stuff here. I was rushing through this, so I left a lot of hair on his face. Normally I would clean my client up a little bit more, but I was trying to catch that monkey move. There we go, man. This cut is pretty much wraps for this cut. And here's a couple pics I took after. Anyway, bless up, hit the sub, hit the like, comment.